So people have been reacting to the Book of Boba Fett in mixed ways. Some people like the series, and some people don't. But it received mixed reception. And you may say it's weird because this is a spin-off to The Mandalorian, which is a very successful show. And people were not mixed about The Mandalorian, so why are people mixed about the Book of Boba Fett? Well, I may have an explanation for that. And it's not because of the writing or the quality. I don't think that's the case. I think it's down to the idea of the show. And why I don't think that the Book of Boba Fett works well as a show. If you don't remember, a very long time ago, in 2018, a movie called Solo came out, and people did not watch it. And it received so badly, people didn't watch it. It only made like a couple $100 million, which, granted is a normal thing. I mean, like $200 million is a normal thing, but the reason why it was a loss for Disney and Lucasfilm was because they lost money as well, because they had to refilm like 80% of the film, and they lost all the money. It was like estimated like 50 to 80 million they lost, because they had to reshoot 80% of the film. They had to get a new director, Ron Howard, and film from there, which it was it went kind of like through production hell, basically. And I think what happened is that after the film came out and they realized that they weren't making their money back, Bob Iger stepped in and said no more spin-off shows for the time being. All of it's just not happening. But I think when Bob Iger said that, he was lying a little bit, because I think that because back before Solo, there's a bunch of Star Wars stuff that was going to be turned to movies. For example, a Boba Fett movie, an Obi-Wan movie, a Yoda movie, a Lando movie, so on and so forth. Basically, you take a popular Star Wars character and they're going to be making a movie out of it. And that's all was scrapped, basically, when Bob Iger said that. Well, that's what we thought. Fast forward, doesn't it seem kind of coincidental that there's now a show about Boba Fett? There's a show about Obi-Wan. Probably the Yoda stuff was probably moved to the Mandalorian with Grogu. Doesn't that seem kind of odd that they repurposed it for a show instead of a movie? And you think that's good. We're still getting that content, but it's not. Because if this was supposed to be originally a movie, like if the Book of Boba Fett, I believe, was supposed to be a movie. Like the content within this show was supposed to be a movie. I believe that because when I look at the show, something that I've noticed with reviews, with people talking about the show, is that the episodes feel short, or they are short, and the pacing is weird. And I mean, I like the concept of having the present day than the past. Well, the past being still the future, but also being the past. It's weird. Star Wars continuity is weird. Technically the past, the future, but whatever. It's Boba Fett after he got the Sarlacc, and now the present day when he's ruling in Jabba's palace. Those two storylines. It's like The Godfather 2, basically, but in Star Wars. And I feel like that would have been better in a film, or that's what it would have been if Solo did well in the box office. I don't think the Book of Boba Fett would have been a Disney Plus show. Same with the Obi-Wan show. Like, I think it's a bad idea to make something that's originally supposed to be a movie into a show, because a movie's all condensed in a 2-hour thing. It makes it better to watch. In a show, you have to make multiple episodes, and I don't think the concept of the Book of Boba Fett is good for a show. For a movie, it would be really good. They have the Godfather type of structure for the film, where you have two separate timelines, but they merge. We see Boba Fett as a crime lord, and we get to see how he came to that. See how it went from the Sarlacc to becoming a crime lord. But in the show, it's different, because what I think of a good successful, the reason why Mandalorian is so successful is because the show is meant to be a show. Like, you have this idea, this basic storyline of the Mandalorian trying to find Grogu back to his people, or the Jedi, but there's side missions along the way. That's good for a story idea, because there's a main story, there's also little side missions for each episode to go to. You know, every episode you meet new people, new characters, maybe someone returns. Maybe a character from a pre-existing franchise or trilogy returns as well. You know, it has that openness for episodes, but it still feels like it's the main thing, so when you watch Mandalorian, or Season 1 and 2, it feels like a big story. Just little steps and chapters along the way. With the Book of Boba Fett, however, it kind of struggles. Like I said, people have said that the episodes are shorter, the kind of tone is weird, and I feel like if it was a movie, that would have been more excused, because the idea for the Book of Boba Fett is that Boba Fett's supposed to be a crime lord, and so every episode he's dealing with a new problem, but the problem is that they're so minuscule and minor that they probably won't have a greater effect on the show. If the Book of Boba Fett's supposed to be a multiple season show, which I don't know if it is or not, it's probably going to be one season, the problem is that because it's so short, it's dealing with these minor problems, and then you're dealing with the past, you have these two timelines, it seems like it's supposed to be a movie, but they're just splitting it up into separate parts. That's what I think. But they're just adding in stuff to kind of fill in the time. You know, that's what I feel like the show's gonna be into. Now, we're only into 3 episodes. That's what I feel like's happening. Because something that I also noticed is the biker gang in episode 3. They seem very off. And you can't say there's probably a reason for it, but they feel off. I'm speculating that this biker gang was not in the original script for the Book of Boba Fett, or when there was supposed to be a Boba Fett movie. I feel like they were added in because they needed an action sequence in one episode, because they realized that, oh, we don't have enough time. You know, the content we had for the Boba Fett movie, we're now out of it for the show. We need extra scenes now. They're like, okay, let's just create this biker gang with all these fancy different bikes that should be in Coruscant. Just screw it, put it in Tatooine, why not? And that's why I'm also worried about the Obi-Wan show, because that's 6 hours for, well, it's 6 hours in total for 6 episodes, an hour for each episode. I'm worried because the Obi-Wan show is probably supposed to be a movie as well, but they canned it and moved into a show after Solo lost money. So, well, I'm speculating that the Obi-Wan show is going to be similar to Boba Fett, where it's going to be points in the film where it's going to feel filler or extra. Like, what can you do in those 6 episodes that you can't do in the 2-hour movie? Because in a 2-hour movie, you can do a lot more, condense a lot more stuff, get the point across of what the arc of the character is supposed to go through in that point in time. But what I'm getting at is that because it's a show, you have to do more with the characters. Each episode has some sort of action and drama in it. But if it was a movie, all that action and drama would be more condensed and more singular rather than being more minor problems. Because it doesn't work like that. You can't just make a movie into a Disney Plus show. It doesn't work like that. And that's why I think it's not going to fail. These shows aren't going to fail. It's just going to be a little bit obvious that this was supposed to be a movie at one point. But now it's just a show. But it's a movie split up into multiple episodes. And you can tell, I feel you would tell, if you watch it all together and you realize, hey, let's just take this part, move it here. I wouldn't be surprised if someone's going to edit the Book of Boba Fett into a, movie. I wouldn't be surprised by that. I think it would be really good, actually. It'd be more condensed than the show would be. But like I said, only 3 episodes are out right now, so I don't know if it's going to be like this for the rest of the series. It could get really good. I don't know. But with the 3 episodes, people are mixed about it. You know, when the first 3 episodes of The Mandalorian came out, people were really excited about it. But the Book of Boba Fett, I don't know. What do you guys think? Did that make sense to you? So I kind of was just rambling on. This is what my thoughts is putting it out there. That's what I've been noticing. I could be wrong on this. Maybe you have this idea as well that you were thinking about when you watch the Book of Boba Fett. 'Cause I don't know. I don't watch the series. I just look at the reviews. I don't have Disney Plus, so I can't actually watch it, but it's whatever. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe. I'm going to go now, so goodbye, everyone.